That's Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino appearing to give a like salute to the agents who work for him. Many have compared him to an SS commander, and not just because of his distinctive trench coat uniform. He's led the most violent of the ICE raids, getting into multiple legal battles about his tactics, like using force against protesters, clergy, and journalists in Chicago. The guy literally led a midnight raid into an apartment building and arrested children. Agents used Black Hawk helicopters and flashbang grenades, then filmed it for propaganda. He was also behind the operation in Minneapolis when Renee Good was fatally shot by an ICE agent. His tactics are under scrutiny in cities across the country because of widespread warrantless stops, heavy use of force, and violent raids. But if we back up and look at Trump's DHS as a whole, this kind of makes sense, because the agency hasn't hidden its intent to attract men aligned with white supremacist ideology. Recently, DHS referenced a neo-Nazi anthem in a recruitment ad. In October, it posted an image of George Washington on a horse with the phrase "America for Americans," a slogan widely associated with the KKK. That same month, it posted night imagery, frequently used in propaganda to brand themselves as crusaders defending Europe. And in an August post, DHS wrote "Which Way, American Man?", a reference to a 1978 book by a Nazi author which promotes racist and violent ideology. Gregory Bovino isn't a one-off. He's the encapsulation of Trump's authoritarian immigration policy. But here's the thing. They're trying to instill fear with these costumes and aggressive tactics, but we see them for how pathetic and desperate they really are. That's why people are still standing up to protect their communities.
Shalom, shalom. Once again, this is the brother Mawam coming back with another quick sit down. Before I get started, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Harakak Badash, and double honors to the elder apostles, great millstone, rule and teach well, and honors and salutations to the men of the Lord doing the same and teaching the same. All right. I don't have a title just yet, but pretty much, we told you so. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we told you so. All right. We told you that Esau, the biblical Edomites, descendants of Esau, the Idumeans, the so-called white people, self-proclaimed Caucasians, all right, self-proclaimed Europeans, okay, what they go by. But they in fact are the biblical Edomites, okay? And for you who's wondering how and why, all right. Excuse me. All right, for you wondering how and why they fit the biblical prophecies of the Edomites. All right. And we warned you, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that they're going to come down with great wrath. All right. And it's not just about Esau. He's the greatest enemy to the Israelites and the other nations as well. So-called Arabs, okay, the Ishmaelites, so-called Chinese and Japanese, so on and so on. All right, Moabites and Ammonites, okay, East Indians, okay, the Elamites, okay. All the nations outside of the 12 tribes are your enemy. All right. And it's not just because we're telling you so, it's because that's what they have shown. All right, in biblical history, all right, and in secular history, these other nations have shown to be your enemy. Okay. And they have committed crimes against the Israelites over the over these many years. And the Lord is going to judge these nations for what they've done to the Israelites. Okay? So this Revelation 18, and I'm going to start at 4. All right? But like I said, Esau, he's in the out front. Esau is ruling the world in these last days. Okay? And he knows that it's his kingdom, all right, and their power over the earth is dwindling. They know that it's dwindling, okay? And a house divided cannot stand, but come to an end. Okay? And prophecy is happening before your eyes. You're watching all the nations, all the kings of the earth, they're turning their backs on Babylon the Great America. We told you, according to the Bible, all right, just to name a few, Revelation 17, Revelation 18 chapter, it clearly tells you all the nations is going to turn their back. They're going to team up against Babylon the Great, America, in World War III. All right, and Babylon the Great America is going to be reduced to rubble, turned into a desert. Okay. All right. So this Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues. All right. And that come out of her, my people, that's going to happen when the Lord have his angels beam up the elect. All right. The believers in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah. All right. The Israelites that repented and was converted to the gospel. Okay. To this knowledge, this truth. All right. So come out of her, my people. That's going into the deliverance. Okay. You know, which is going to take place at the second coming of the Lord. All right. That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she have filled to her double. And the Lord is going to do that. So people don't understand. World War III is so the Lord can judge Babylon the Great America. All right. But also at the same time judge billions of people. All right. This is judgment that's going forth. All right. So people don't, you Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, who's the 12 tribes, God's chosen people, those of you that's outside this truth, you don't understand that this is spiritual. All right. People wondering like why the world's going to shit and life is getting worse and worse. Okay. And this place is falling. Okay. It's because the Lord is bringing this place down. All right. It's the Lord doing it. And us as prophets of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah, we're telling you. We're telling you what the Lord is going to do in the future.